Let's make a summary of all the places the company has been.
Well, we have to start with Guilford, Connecticut, the original shop. Then Hamden, Connecticut, the bigger shop. And that was in the high point of the war, probably, I'm going to guess, around 1940, 1941. And then we moved to, well, they went in the boat business, so there was a pause. But then they ended up in Miami, in Liberty City, in the big shop. I was through the Vietnam era. Then they moved to North Miami, where I took over when I was around 15. From there, my father passed away about a year later. I moved to Pembroke Park, Florida, just somewhere to put all the machinery and keep the orders out. Then I moved from there to St. Augustine, Florida. When I got to St. Augustine, I was approached by the American Historical Foundation to come to Richmond, Virginia. And that's where these knives came from.
What features made Ek knife so popular among commandos and soldiers during the war?
Well, I think the design of the blade itself, this type of a point, like I said, comes from an Indian arrowhead, very stout, very strong. Oh, not on your box. Very good for penetrating. The full tang of the style of the blade coming all the way through the knife, also to the exposed butt cap. And the weight of the handle and knife itself shows its strength and its durability. Look. All the way up to the later knives, with the Ek Commando being made in Richmond and Effingham, Illinois, like this one was. The same design features are there, the point, the extended tang through the knife, and the extended butt cap on the end, with strong fixtures holding the knife together. And even on this one, my new favorite knife, with the Chilean Commando logo. You want me to stick it in the tree? No.
No, it's never been used.
Oh, it's a virgin. Yeah. Hey, that went in pretty good.
I know. All right, Gary, tell us some more about the materials of these knives.
Back in World War II in Vietnam, the steel for the knives were made out of 4340 nickel chrome molybdenum. Dad had to get permission from the War Production Board to use new steel. Otherwise, you'd be using car springs or stuff you found at the junkyard, reclamation. When we moved to Vietnam, we still had the 4340 nickel chrome moly. It was an oil hardening steel, and it was used a lot for, strangely enough, bulletproofing ships. So it was a marine quality, minimal rust, and strong strength. It was flexible, yet it held a good edge. Now, when we went into the modern knives in Richmond, I recommended using 440C stainless steel. It was easily available, it had a high carbon content, and a good resistance to rust. Now, this sheath is the modern one, but it's very similar to what we did in Vietnam and World War II by adding a chock down the middle here, if you can see that space. That's so that the knife would slide in and out of it without cutting through the stitching. Of course, Dad did all leather. I personally wanted to make it more modern by using a nylon, high quality fiber and Velcro, which they didn't have when Dad was making knives. But it's so much more practical. There's also a shim down here that the blade can't go through the sheath. It slides down it and keeps it protected.
Well, Gary and I took a break and he invited me a delicious burger at Surly Siren Saloon. During lunch, Gary told me some more about other activities he does at Key West.
Hey, this is my other job. I'm a sound engineer in Key West with live music all day long. It's part of what my parents taught me about being a private investigator. I know all about buttons and wires. Anyway, I also run a radio station here in Key West, KeyWest.fm. Listen to it.
Oh, the short break are such pretty teeth, dear. And they show stem pearly whites. Just a jackknife has old McGee been.
How does the egg tradition or legacy play a role in your family and your life?
All my life. When I grew up in Miami,
Yep.
they were starting to make knives for the Bay of Pigs invasion and Vietnam War. So I got stuck with doing leather. I did leather because it was safe. I was like
You were making
12,
Yeah,
14 years old. I could do that. Stitching. Then I went into making wooden handles. And then I started making steel when I was 15. So actually I became a knife maker when I was
I got it.
15.
So you were moving step by step.
Yeah, and Dad had really good employees that would teach me. You know, I'm hanging around the gun shop all day. What do
Yeah.
you do with a kid?
And also your father was
Teach them
teaching
how
you,
to
right?
shoot. Yeah, they had the gun shop. They had the knife making shop. They had a security business. You know, private investigative and all that. Plus, Dad made like spy stuff, spy electronics, bugging and wiretapping, and
Yeah.
so it was a strange childhood.
Yeah.
I liked the
Definitely.
knives. I went into the knives. We started making Dad's original fighting knives. These are some of the original blanks from Vietnam. Learned every aspect of it. By the time I was 15, I was the youngest knife maker in the United States, making, well, Commando knives. This is his Model 1. It's the guardless version, which a lot of soldiers liked because it was easy to conceal, remove, not bulky, didn't have the big guard on it. Yet still had that patented grip Dad did.
Yeah, actually, I was talking in one of the
It's hard to get it out of
the
your
videos
hands, huh?
about this grip, because this allows you to hold the knife in different ways and will remain in your hand very comfortable. So if you want to stab with a knife like that,
Either way.
yeah,
Or
if
backhand.
you are the one that used the knife in this position, the grip is really comfortable. That's it, right?
That's the other thing is the Model 1, people favored the Commando style of reversed and no
Yeah.
blade there. So if someone grabs you, they're getting cut.
Yeah.
Whereas the Model 2,
And also, as
You both get- yeah,
in
it's
the
flat.
defense
Such
position as
pretty
well.
teeth,
well, you know all that stuff.
and
I only
they
know this
show
side.
stem
All right, please like, share, and subscribe. More to come
just a
in the path of the
jackknife
Egg Commando.
has old McGee been.